how would you say, Monsieur?
Croque Monsieur.
Monsieur. Monsieur. Monsieur. I am Chef Tim, and this week on the island we are making the iconic French sandwich Croque Monsieur with honey-baked ham. Guys, I am super excited about this week's recipe. As far as the Chef Tim hot ham and cheese power rankings go, this sandwich right near the top. The best part, you don't just put cheese in the sandwich, you put cheese on top of the sandwich. Let me show you how to make it.
For this recipe, you will need some good white bread. We used brioche, flour, butter, and milk, honey-baked ham and Swiss cheese, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, the savory herb blend of your choice. We chose herbe de Provence, as well as a little bit of nutmeg, and finally, some pickles.
Okay guys, to begin, we're gonna make a Mornay sauce. Now, don't freak out when you hear the word Mornay sauce. It's just a cheese sauce and it's super easy. So, first things first, grab yourself a small saucepan, warm that up over medium heat, dump your 1.5 tablespoons of butter in there. Once that butter stops bubbling, we're gonna dump our flour in there. Once you get the flour in there, we're gonna whisk the entire time. You wanna really bring that together. You don't want any lumps. You're gonna cook that for about 1 minute or until the smell of raw flour disappears. Once you get to that point, dump your milk in there. Again, whisking the entire time to fully incorporate. Don't want any lumps. Cook that milk, flour, and butter mixture for about 3 minutes. You want it to simmer down and thicken up a little bit so that it'll coat the back of the spoon. Once you are seeing that it is coating the back of the spoon, turn your heat down to low. Whisk your cheese in. Slowly but surely, whisking the entire time, dump your cheese in there. Once you have that fully incorporated and it's completely melted, take it off the heat. We're gonna season it with a little bit of salt and pepper and then just a few grates of fresh nutmeg. That will be it for the cheese sauce, and we'll move on to toasting the bread. Okay guys, Mornay sauce is done. Congratulations, nice job on that. Next step, we are gonna toast our bread. This is surprisingly very, very important. We're using a brioche bread today. Any nice white bread will do. We're gonna toast it in the pan. So you're gonna take a couple tablespoons of butter, get that nice and hot in your pan. We're gonna add 2 or 3 pieces of brioche, depending on how big your pan is, and we're gonna toast them on both sides. That's the important part. Get a nice toast on either side of the bread, a nice golden brown, because then we're gonna top it with the Mornay sauce, and if you're not toasted well enough, the cheese sauce soaks into the bread, mushes everything out, and the sandwich just isn't as good as it could be. So, toast your bread each side. Once you're done toasting each side of the bread, move the bread over to a foil-lined baking tray, because then we're gonna build our sandwiches. Okay guys, so let's make some sandwiches. Your bread is perfectly toasted, sitting in front of you on this baking tray. Now here's the trick to a really, really great Croque Monsieur. It's all about ratios. So you want the perfect amount of everything, and it's really easy when you've got a whole big pot of delicious cheese sauce to let things get a little bit out of control. So let me walk you through this. First things first, you're gonna take about 2 ounces of honey-baked ham. You're gonna put it on top of that bottom piece of bread. And then you're gonna top that with 1 scoop, 1 spoonful of the cheese sauce. Drizzle it all over the top of that ham. Use the back of the spoon and kind of spread it around so that it's evenly covering everything. You're gonna take a nice generous pinch of your grated Gruyere cheese, sprinkle that all on top of that Mornay sauce. Then you're gonna take about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard and you're gonna spread that on the bottom of the top piece of bread, close your sandwich, and this is where it gets really interesting, and this is why this is such an amazing sandwich. You take another scoop of the cheese sauce, one more spoonful, spread it on the top piece of that bread. Not too much now, because this is where things get out of control. Just a little layer from one side to the other. Give it a pinch of your herbes de Provence. That's optional, but it's really nice and I like it. And then a final pinch of your Gruyere cheese, sprinkle it all over the top, and then we're gonna bake these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the whole sandwich is heated through, the ham is hot, the cheese is melted and gooey, and then we're gonna move on to our final step. All right, guys, I just pulled these from the oven. They look glorious, absolutely fantastic. Moving on to the final step, I just turned my oven to broil. I'm gonna slide these back under the broiler on the top level of the oven and broil them for about 2 minutes until they turn golden brown on top. Be careful because they'll burn quickly. And then we're gonna plate these, let them sit for about 5 or 10 minutes so you don't scorch your mouth. They're gonna be smoking hot. Serve them alongside some of these delicious and adorable Cornichon pickles if you're feeling especially French. And that is it. Enjoy. Guys, that is it. Just because it's tough to say doesn't mean it's tough to make. As far as hot ham and cheese sandwiches go, it doesn't get much better than this. I can't wait to eat one, maybe 2 of these. We'll see you next time.